Hello. My name is Cecilia Nevaki. I am part of the En-corpora study group and I'm student at UNESP. I'm taught by Professor and Dr. Paula Pinto, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my junior project, the development of teaching activities for reading strategies in English courses with Corpus Mate. I'm going to start by introduction and the justification of this research. Around 40% of undergraduate students at UNESP start their courses with A1 or A2 proficiency level in English. Why is that a problem? Because with basic English, they don't understand academic English, the English that is used in texts. So they have trouble understanding without translation these tests. And translation takes time. You need to use tools that aren't somehow efficient. And the understanding is not as good as if they read that in English. So, this research aims to investigate the relevance of developing reading strategy activities using corpus linguistic tools. In this case, we're going to use the Corpus Mates tool to teach English as a second language in the academic context. A data-driven learning approach for teaching, facilitating learning and comprehension of texts in English, promoting meaningful assimilation of vocabulary and content. So we are going to use these tools to help students to learn in a shorter period of time and make the comprehension more meaningful. They read the text and they understand what they are reading. The objectives of this research are to develop the data activities using Corpus Mate for implementation in undergraduate courses. This is the first step. We develop these data activities and use with them. Then, to evaluate, we are going to use student feedback to evaluate the effectiveness of DDL activities by analyzing student feedback, determining the extent to which this methodology contributes to the language learning process. And then, after we analyze this feedback, we are going to compare activities, the ones that we do with Corpus Mate now, and the ones that we did with VersaText last year with my previous research. And then we're going to identify the differences in the effectiveness and understand how each of these tools supports language teaching and learning. In my literature review, we use authors such as Jones, Berber Sardinha, Bolton, Rocha, Pinto, and Crosthwaite and Beza, who are the creators of Corpus Mate 2. I'm going to talk a little bit about the process, the methodology. Here we have some print screens of the two. This first one that we have here is the first screen of Corpus Mate. So you can put the input here. I put the words climate change together. Here you can choose an area of interest. There's a lot of them, but here I can put geography. And then you can choose if you want to see written or spoken corpus, if you want to analyze in this thing. And then you're going to click search. Here you have the patterns, like when you show results as pattern view, it's going to show you the frequency this word shows with other words and expressions. You have a count of the frequency. These ones were in geography, so climate change on hydroecological response. Climate change is likely to, and then you have the count of the frequency. Here's the other screen, is the one that you put when you put sentences, and it's going to show the whole sentence and the lines of concordance. So, to prevent climate change, about climate change, peak oil and climate change. Here you can see what are the words that comes before and after, and then we're going to use this so we can help the students think about the word and how this word is combined. It can generate a lot of discussion. Why is this word related to this other word? What are the most common words to come before? We can talk about grammar, like, oh, does it need an article? It can be alone. There's a lot of discussion to do around these lines of concordance. Here it's like you put the word climate change, and then you have all of the topics and how many documents you have in each one of these topics and the percentage within each topic. So geography is the winner with 2065 documents, and health and medicine is the one that has least documents with 71. And then you can discuss, why do you think there's so many documents in geography, agriculture, and environment? And what the articles that talk about health and medicine, why are they related to climate change? The patterns here, climate change and global warming, climate change and drought ensued, climate change and the environment. We can discuss how these words are combined. Climate change activist Greta Thunberg. And then there's a lot of things we can discuss about that. Mainly the lines of concordance, we think that's the most important part because it generates conscious towards the text, towards the why this word comes with these other words. This part is really important. The conclusions are the study addresses a crucial gap in English proficiency among Brazilian university students by focusing on key academic topics through English comprehension classes. When we focus on this gap, then we deal with this instead of just making students translate by themselves. We make them more conscious about the subjects that we are talking about and the words. We can talk about the content, we can talk about the form, the lexical part, the grammar part. There's a lot of things to discuss when you discuss the text as a whole. So these activities will be conducted in a applied linguistic undergraduate classroom. Is DDL to facilitate English language learning. After we used corpus mate and versatext, students will evaluate their usage and provide feedback on their importance. So when we listen to the students that use this approach, we can have a better understanding on how this helped them and how we can improve this method to be more helpful to these students. And the aim is to demonstrate the relevance of detailed procedures for corpus linguistic research in English for academic purposes, aiming to enhance language proficiency and improve pedagogical practices in specific academic environments. So that's it. We are going to use these tools to help the students to have a better understanding, bigger conscious of the language in a shorter period of time. So we're going to use DDL and the corpus linguistic to help them in this process. And that's it. Thanks.